Hello and welcome to another episode of Signals from the Inside. I'm your host, Maisie Lovett. This is a space where we decode the symptoms no one else can explain so you can finally understand what your body is trying to tell you. On today's episode, we're going to talk about how to stop overthinking without just trying to control your thoughts. If you're the type of person that your mind doesn't slow down, or if you're constantly replaying conversations that you've had throughout the day, or maybe even thinking about text messages that happened like 3 years ago, or maybe you think through every possible outcome before anything happens, this is going to be for you. Overthinking is not something that just happens over time. It's not just a part of who you are. It's not a personality trait. It is actually a protection pattern. So it's a trauma response because your body learned that staying mentally ahead felt safer because you could always have this false sense of prediction. And this often starts, if we're looking, at trauma root examples from way back, this starts when you were criticized often. So maybe you had great thoughts, maybe your opinions were asked, but then they were scoffed at or laughed at or criticized for something. You were just criticized often, not praised. This can be for the person who had to avoid making mistakes, because if you make a mistake, dear God, it's the end of the world, or it felt like it. And it still feels like that today. Like there is a fear of making mistakes. Either you're seen as a failure or it's a whole blown up thing that happens. If you grew up in a space where you needed to anticipate somebody else's mood, so you're walking on eggshells, you've got that unpredictable parent, don't know how they're going to come home, how was work today, maybe that carries over into your relationship. Maybe that's how, your partner is, or somebody who's in the same home with you. This can also carry into feeling the pressure to get it right or don't get it wrong. There's this perfectionism thing that comes into play because there's a repercussion if it's not. And this ripple effects into every area of your life. So it can show up as anxiety. It can show up as indecision. So I see this for a lot of business owners where they have to sit on it or I have to think about it. And they're simple decisions that clearly show them this is the best yes, but they feel it's too much. What if I get it wrong? What if I fail? So those visibility wounds start to come into play. Those fears of failure, fears of even success. Sounds crazy, but it does happen. So they'd rather go into that freeze mode space, which is what we call the entrepreneurial survival mode, where you're just kind of in this space. Fuck it. It's freeze mode. Not doing anything. It's best not to do anything and play it safe. This can also ripple into sleep issues. So if you struggle with any health problems and sleep issues are a problem, this can go into that. If you're replaying conversations or you second guess yourself, or maybe you're in that fight and flight space where you do more flighting than you do fighting. And so it's best to just stay quiet. So how do we real time it? When we're in this space of overthinking, whether it's before you go to bed or before you catch yourself spiraling down a rabbit hole, pause. You're probably going to get tired of hearing me say that because you're going to hear that a lot. Pause first. There is no reason to react or jump or move or rush into a response. A lot of times we grow up in the space of rush, hurry up in this, hurry up in that. It's okay to take a pause first. Maybe there needs to be a breathing space. So some of my clients will have a hand on chest or a hand on stomach or both. And if you're feeling more chest breathing, then we want to switch that. You want to do belly first, and then you want to be able to feel both of them rise at the same time. This helps you to slow your breath. Remember, what are we rushing for? We're not. When you can slow your pace down, especially if you're having these nighttime conversations where you're circling and spiraling, I have often, when clients struggle with anxiety before bed, that 360 breathing where basically you fill up your body like a balloon and then you go back down, fill up your body like a balloon, everything. You feel everything go up, not just your stomach or your chest or whatever. You feel everything. You can feel the difference. It calms your nervous system. It calms your mind, focuses you in on your breath. What you need is something to bring you into this present moment. Sometimes it's touch. If you're a tapper, if you're somebody who does tapping, that can also help, right? That's a great tool to use in the moment. Now, for some of you out in public or in the middle of a conversation, the last thing you're probably going to think about doing is tapping. But you want to slow your breath down. Pause first. Always pause. And then you can ask yourself, what actually matters in this moment right now? What is one thing that I can do right now as a next step to get past this? Because what matters? Can I control it? Can I fix it? Is sitting here worrying about it going to give me the answer right now to fix it in real time? Probably not. It may even be something that you're worried about whether it will or will not happen. Overthinking is not a true thinking problem. It's a safety problem. And what we need to do is focus on thoughts that matter. Patterns that matter, patterns that produce reward, not punishment. And it's practice. That's it, practice. So this is why when a client comes to me and they are struggling, we map it. Because if you can't see it, or you're even sitting here struggling to be like, okay, none of this is working, slow my breath, none of that doesn't work, put my hand on my chest, 360 breathing, blah, blah, blah. It's not working. Even asking what actually matters, it just makes me want to focus on it more. Well, then DM me. Let's look at the symptoms. These are symptoms that are happening. That's spiraling. Those are symptoms. Let's look at the symptoms. Let's look at the patterns that are underneath that are still operating and running in the show. And then let's map the next step to get out of that trauma loop. That's what DMing me does. Check out the link in the description. It's going to go directly to my messenger, and I will be the one to message you. This is not a business page. It's not an automated thing. It is me actually messaging you. Let's have a conversation. So, as always, if you love the content that I'm putting out, give me a like, give me a share, hit subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.